So I guess this is technically day one of this process. I did get some of these things yesterday and start accruing materials. I also had a really helpful phone conversation with Dave.
Hey Nate, Dave, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how are you? How's it going?
Okay, so you're gonna build, just kind of want to go to a more minimalism,
Yep.
Topper style camper then, right?
That's what I'm thinking. So I had that topper that was on there. I ended up selling that. It wasn't tall enough inside. I need a bed and a desk, right? Those are the top priorities for me.
Give you a couple tips I've learned over the years. Alright, thanks brother. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Dave. Some of you guys might remember Dave. He was on the channel quite a few years ago. I did a tour of his truck camper setup that he had on a Silverado. Since then, he's built like, I think 7 different truck campers and a camper van as well that he's recently working on. I'll put a link in the description below to his channel so you guys can check it out. The guy is a wealth of information and knowledge. Absolutely amazing craftsman, and I've been lucky to stay in touch with him over the years. So my goal here with this project is to do a truck camper shell. I've gone back and forth a couple of different times. Do I want to build a tub or do I want to just mount something to the rails? So my plan for the walls is essentially to make like a composite structure. It's going to be like a sandwich, a foam sandwich between a 1/4-inch piece of plywood and then an 1/8-inch piece of Luan. And then I'm going to have the 2x2 framing in there as well. I'm going to glue it all together, put some weight on it, and it should make for a very sturdy, lightweight, and very well insulated wall. Alright, so both side walls are framed out. Got the 2x2s on the inside and then 1/4-inch plywood on the outside. I am now going to cut the pink XPS insulation and then glue it in here as tight as I possibly can, and then just leave a bunch of weight on it overnight, let it compress, and by the end, it should be a pretty strong wall. This thing is already barely moving and it's only halfway finished. Alright, day 2. The 2 side walls are pretty much completely finished. At this point I am going to add a piece for the inside to go on top here. But the insulation, I've got 1 inch of this XPS. I used more adhesive on the inside of this thing than I've ever used on anything in my life. Tons and tons of glue. And then I put some weights on it last night, and now this thing has really formed up. I mean, it is super rigid and also pretty light. I will add that last piece over it for the interior, and then the 2 side walls will be done. It'll be time to move on to the front wall. So I picked up these porthole windows off of Amazon. I'm definitely on a little bit of a budget with this, so I've decided to not do windows in the side walls, but I did want to have something in the front so that I could look into the cab and then also open them up and get a little bit of airflow. And I'm going to do one in the rear door as well, just because when I'm stealth camping, it's kind of nice to be able to look out and make sure no one's standing right there before I pop out of the truck first thing in the morning on some street somewhere. So I guess this is technically day 3 now, the start of day 3, and I did decide last night to make some major changes to what I was doing. Originally, I was going to do this as a truck cap and mount it directly to the rails of the truck. I thought that that would be okay, but after I built the 3 walls, I've decided that it just makes a heck of a lot more sense to turn this into a traditional slide-in truck camper. So today I bought some materials first thing this morning. My dad came over and helped me unload it, some 3/4 inch plywood and 1/2 inch plywood. and I'm going to build the traditional tub, and then I'm just going to mount the walls that I've already built directly to the tub. I'm at this point where I can kind of pivot, and I realized that I hadn't gone too far with the truck cap idea, where I can just pivot and make this into a slide-in camper. So that's what I'm going to do. It just makes more sense to make this into a slide-in camper that I can easily remove, easily put back in, and then I can also switch it to a different truck at some point in the future if I do get a different truck. Let's get started, guys. This is going to be a heck of a project, but I want to try to build the whole tub today. So all the pieces for the tub are cut. My dad is gonna come back over to help me assemble it. It'd be nice to have a second set of hands when I'm just kind of trying to stand everything up and then tack it together, wood glue it, and then I'll put some screws in, and that should do it. But everything's ready to go. I've got the wings done. I have these little triangle pieces that I cut with the miter saw just for extra support underneath the wings. Last thing I have to do though is just cut out a little door in each of the side walls of the tub so that I can access the tie downs that are going to be towards the front of the truck. Day 3 is in the books. It's been a long day, but it feels really nice to actually have something finished. I mean, the tub is basically 100% done at this point. I think I might have already mentioned this. I got a Herculiner bed lining paint for it. It's like a texturized, rubber-coated, waterproof paint. So I'm gonna try to get that on there tomorrow morning, let it dry in the sun for a little bit. Tomorrow is gonna have to be a partial day for me. I have to go in for my job in the afternoon. We're doing a shoot tomorrow for my video production job that I recently started, so should be good, but I'll have plenty of time in the morning to make some more progress. Day 5, day 4 yesterday was just kind of a partial day. I was able to get 2 coats of this paint on here. I have been weighing every part of this individually as I've been doing it, just getting on the scale and doing some math to try to estimate where we are to this point. The tub itself, I'm estimating, is right around 180 pounds. That's with the paint and everything that I've done to it, these little base supports that I added as well. So it's kind of tough to move this thing around on my own at this point. I can probably get away with it, but I really don't want to risk damaging the wings before I get them supported. So my dad is on his way over now to help me flip this thing, and then he's going to help me just kind of give me an extra set of hands while I put up the 3 walls that I've already built. Starting to come along a little bit in here. It looks more and more like a camper every day. The last 2 days were kind of partial days, though. I didn't really have a lot of time to spend on it. Spent a few hours each day. Today, though, it's going to be beautiful. I really want to just focus full day today. Try to get this back wall done. generally tend to underestimate how long it's going to take me to do certain tasks. I literally spent the entire day working on the rear wall, but it is 100% finished, and what's nice is that when I got it in, everything's squared up really nicely. The wings were a little bit off down below. They were kind of sagging a little bit, but when I put this in, everything tightened up nicely. It is really square. It feels great in here. And this is kind of what it's going to feel like. You know, this plywood is just resting on top. I have not done the roof yet. It's going to have this amount of headroom so I can sit all the way up, no problem. Can't stand all the way. My plan with this was to keep it as low profile and lightweight as possible. So standing wasn't really a priority. I just wanted to have a bed going crosswise like this, and then have a couple of spaces to have a desk and some storage and keep it really simple. All right, goal number 1 for today is to close this thing off. When I put the frame of the roof on, this all just kind of hit me. It feels good to be making some progress. As some of you guys know, I have a little bit of experience doing like interiors of camper vans and the tiny house, but I've never really like framed anything out on my own. This past summer I did work with our neighbor Ross to do our shed off the tiny house, so I got some experience there, but really this is all just the culmination of me thinking about this project for a long time. I mean, it's been well over a year that I've been wanting to build my own truck camper like this. That was a pretty big day. Adding the roof really brings the space together. As silly as that might sound, it really makes it so that this thing feels like a little camper now. It's just a matter of sanding this thing on the outside, filling in little gaps with wood filler, and then painting it with the waterproof rubberized paint that I'm going to use, the Durabac. This morning dew is something. Kind of forgot about it after being in New Mexico for so long, but every morning everything's soaking wet out here. It actually worked pretty well. We had 2 days of a ton of rain. I wasn't able to really get out here at all, but the tarp kept this thing pretty dry. Well, the door's done. There will be a window in there, and it's not really properly sealed. You can see my weather stripping coming out the side there. I'm going to have to redo the backstop in there and probably get another weather seal, something that fits a little bit better, but it does close, it locks. I don't want to say it's 100% done or anything like that, but in terms of the exterior, I think we're at a pretty good stopping point. It's been, I think, 12 days. I've kind of lost track, but 12 days or so seems about right. And obviously they haven't all been full days. I've been kind of juggling this with my job and a few other things. So I feel pretty good about it, though. Like, I'm pretty excited about where we're at. My whole goal with this is to be able to have an off-grid solar system with an air conditioner that I can run off-grid at least part of the time. And then, so that's going to mean having a lot of solar panels on the roof. I'm going to have a 12-volt system inside as well. I'm going to run can lights through the ceiling. That's why I've kind of left this unfinished, because I do need to cut through it and run wiring and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, that'll be the next step. And then finishing the interior, kind of making it pretty. I don't really have a whole lot planned for the interior. My main goal is to have a bed, which I already have. I've put the mattress in here to see if it fits, and it fits perfectly. And then I want to have a desk. Those are really the only two things that matter to me. I'm not super interested in having like an elaborate kitchen set up in here. If I want to cook, I'll probably just cook outside on the tailgate. I want to have a big power system so that I can work and sleep comfortably. That's really the whole purpose of this whole thing. So trying to keep it simple. I might do a couple of little cabinets for storage up in the corners, and then there is a ton of storage underneath the bed, so I'm definitely going to be using that. That'll be another video though, guys. I'll do an entire video about the interior conversion and kind of finishing this and making it into a home, and then I'll also do one about the power system where I'm going to be running, like I said, an air conditioner on an off-grid power system. So really excited about tackling those projects very soon. And then in terms of the weight of this thing, I know that a lot of folks are going to ask how much it weighs. Seems to be a pretty common question with self-build truck campers. I've basically weighed every component individually as I was building this, so I would actually just take a wall, hold it, stand on a scale, and then weigh it, and do the math, subtract my weight from it all, and then I've added it all up. My estimate is that I'm right around 485 pounds as it sits right now. Obviously, that doesn't include the interior, stuff. I think I'm going to do cedar tongue and groove on the ceiling, and then a few other siding things on the walls. It doesn't include any furniture that I build in here or anything like that. Solar panels, the fridge, those are all pretty heavy. The air conditioner as well. They're not light, but as we stand right now, we're at 485 pounds roughly. That is kind of a conservative estimate as well. Like things that I couldn't really get a weight on, like how much the paint weighs when you put the paint on and kind of things like that. I kind of guessed higher, so it's definitely not more than 485, I'll tell you that much. So that's pretty light for my 3/4 ton truck. I think it should be able to handle it no problem. My goal is to eventually be staying in this thing most of the time, if not full time. I want to try to live in it, so we'll see how that goes. That'll definitely be an adventure over the coming months. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and for following along on this journey. I'll talk to you all again soon. Check out the new Element Life membership site linked below. Becoming a member is a great way to support the channel and grants you access to many benefits, including an interactive map of my favorite free camping and stealth camping spots from across the country with video recaps for each site, bonus videos, special discounts, and much more. Thanks again for watching.